A lot of people are wondering, what to do in these times. A lot of people think they have the answers, especially in the entrepreneurial worlds. There's a lot of people creating courses to help people through recessions. And whilst there's some value in that, for sure, I doubt the internet's going anywhere, but you never know in this crazy time we find ourselves in. The truth is that no one really knows what's happening right now. There's all kinds of conspiracies, there's all kinds of storylines as to what could be happening. And there's quite a lot of those which are likely to be happening. And in fact, an awful lot of them are probably all happening simultaneously. This has so many different angles to it. It's unreal. But in terms of what we can do as humans, as individuals, as entrepreneurs, it really comes down to witnessing what life is asking of us. If you're using this time to hustle, if you're using this time to create like gangbusters, there's some value in that, but you're kind of fighting reality in a strange way. Every single person pretty much on the planet right now has been asked to stay at home. And all that really means, whilst the world is going nuts, markets are doing crazy things, businesses are going bust left, right and centre, and unfortunately we're going to see more bankruptcies over the coming months than at any time in history, both personal and business. Whilst all this is going on, the simple message is just to be still. Now you might say, okay, Toby, that's fair enough for you. You're sat on a tropical island. And whilst there's some truth to that, the other side to that is that I didn't actually mean to come here. I came here completely by mistake. It was something that just kind of happened. And the only reason it happened was because I wasn't in the way. I let a higher source of energy, a higher source of knowledge and intellect guide me here. It wasn't something that I particularly chose. I simply acted on what became obvious to me in my experience of reality. And that's all any of us have to do. And that's all any of us are being asked to do right now. And that is what is most valuable right now, is to simply observe the situation you find yourself in, see that action, no matter how inspired it feels, is largely futile and is probably coming from a patterned need to do and be active, not a true recognition of the situation that you're in. And so all we're being asked to do is be. Wherever you find yourself, wherever you are in the world, whichever room you are in your house or apartment, just be. And understand that, you within yourself have all the answers. Everyone who mocks spiritual people is about to get a very interesting wake-up call. Anyone who sees the world through a very limited lens, be it finance, be it business, be it health, or rather pharmaceutically, because they know very little about health. Anyone who's observing the world through a niche lens is not seeing the world anywhere near as it is. They're seeing the world as their lens is showing it to them. So, there's an awful lot of people now that just think that we're in a recession, that think that we are just experiencing, another financial crisis, albeit a big one. I mean, from my perspective, the truth is far, far, far more dramatic than that, And do I know the answers? No, of course not. All I know is that I've been guided to a tropical island and it's pretty much deserted. I've just walked around half of it this morning, and I'm about to walk around the other half, and there's just nobody here. And okay, it's quite early in the morning, but I could do this at midday and there's still nobody here. So what does that tell us? What does that tell me? Be. That's it. It's all we have to do now is be. And observe whatever comes up. You know, if in your being you're challenged, if in your being you find it hard to focus, you find it hard to concentrate, you find it hard to just be, you get angry, you get angsty, you get hungry, you get whatever comes up for you, be with that. You know, this time is going to be really hard for anyone who's not done their shadow work, you know, for anyone who hasn't fully accepted all of themselves. Because that's all being spiritual, you know, whatever you want to call that way of being, that's all being spiritual really is just accepting everything in your reality as it is, not needing to change anything, but knowing that by accepting it and visioning something different, you'll manifest it, you'll create it. It's really simple and it works every time. The challenge that we have, and the challenge that those who don't see this reality yet have, is that very few people have got to the stage where it's that instant yet. You know, I think we've all experienced moments where we're like, whoa, how did that happen? You know, I think we've all experienced times when we've kind of surprised ourselves at the rate at which we've created things in this world. But it's happened a little bit too kind of haphazardly and a little bit too sporadically for us to see that there's a science behind it and a model behind it working in the invisible realms. But there is. And we're all capable of tapping into it, you know. It's not that some of us are spiritual, it's not that some of us are able to tap into things that others can't. It's just that depending on how conditioned we are, depending on how many patterns we have, and by patterns I mean mind patterns, you know, ways of thinking that are stopping us from experiencing what is, as opposed to, you know, the experience that we're having. Depending on how much obstruction we have in our bodies, this is why fasting and cleansing and detoxing is so utterly crucial, especially when there's a virus traveling around the world. You know, viruses, quite simply, all a virus is, by the way, is an intelligence that removes toxicity from our cells. And when you think of it like that, the only answer is, well, heal, cleanse, become clean, become healthy, and then you may still get sick. I may still get sick. I don't know. But I know that I can handle it, you know, whatever it is, it's fine. It's not gonna be a problem. And so again, at this time, we're being asked, you know, what is it that you've paid attention to over the last 5 years, 10 years? Have you given yourself, your body, your health, the attention that you deserve? Have you given your mind the attention it deserves? Have you given your inner child the attention that they deserve? Because any of these things that you're struggling with, anything that's coming up for you right now is just a reflection of the amount or lack thereof of inner work that you've been doing over the last few years. So if you're going to take anything from this message, just take being as a contemplation for all that you actually have to do right now. Because when you're able to be, when you're able to align yourself with yourself and a higher intelligence, and by the way, there is a higher intelligence, it's just whether or not you've experienced it yet, and it's there for all of us, it's around us all the time. You can call it God, you can call it source, you can call it energy, you can call it the universe, whatever you want to call it. There is a benevolent, all-loving energy that created this whole entire planet and this whole entire universe. And when you still yourself enough to be you start to see it everywhere, from the way that birds fly, from the way that I'm looking at thousands of dragonflies right now, from the way that they're just humming along, doing their thing. There's a perfection to nature and a perfection to this beautiful planet that we find ourselves residing on for a very, very short period of time. Once you've started to tap into these other realms, once you've started to have these out-of-body experiences, you realize just how momentary this life is, and that it isn't the end. So many people who, atheists or just crap religious people think that this is, that there's an end, or think that someone's going to come and save us. And it's cute, but it's just very, very, very naive. Because once you've tapped into this and you've actually committed to it and understood that it is the truth, you start to see that, everything's momentary. None of this lasts very long. So why not make the most of it? Why not let it be exactly as it is and weave yourself into its fabric, rather than trying to impose yourself upon it into too structured or too aggressive and damaged masculine a way? Why bother? It's just futile and really, really immature as a human, immature. And I don't mean immature like childlike, but it is childlike from a spirit perspective. The more we have to impose ourselves upon this earth, the more we have to make a name for ourselves, the more we have to brand ourselves and all this sort of stuff. It's just coming from the damaged parts of ourselves that need recognition in some way. And it's the people that have been humbled rather by life, and it's the people who have lived simply who are going to thrive in this new world. It's the people who recognize that we are nature, and that we are a part of this beautiful fabric as much as anything else that we see in nature, who are going to thrive. I don't know if you can hear this. They travel only by horse and carriage here, horse and cart, or by bicycle. There's a few electric sort of moped type things on the island as well, but not very many. Just gonna show you a little bit of the islands here. So Gili Meno over here. In the distance over there, you might be able to see, I can't see the screen, but you can see the volcano from Bali. And over there is Lombok. And behind me is a horse and cart. I'm going to do a few more of these kinds of videos over the coming weeks, because it looks like we're in for the long haul. It looks like we're going to be here for a while. It looks like you guys are going to be wherever you are for a while. And if this is of value to you, if this is interesting to you, then I would love to be able to share a little bit of the kind of peace that I'm able to experience here. But in truth, it's the peace I'm able to experience here. And if you can feel it, then I'll see you again very, very soon. Sending you so much love, sending you so much peace, and sending you so much acceptance for you to accept whatever it is that's happening in your world right now. I love you.